Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For those who were in the meditation this morning, Carol spoke in the meditation of the new day and the new morning. And on our way here this morning, Denise and I were just enthralled with what I called the cloud show. Because for anybody who happened to look up, it was incredible. It was just incredible. Blue sky, gray clouds, these clouds that seemed, of course they are suspended, right? But it was a different kind of suspension, the way that the clouds were formed out over the fields. And I said to Denise, I'm so grateful that we notice. I'm so grateful that we look and we see, because it makes such a difference. When we are, and today, of course, as was already mentioned, I'm talking about gathering good evidence. And when we are caught up in whatever it is that we're caught up in, that is troublesome or worrisome or whatever the case may be, we need good evidence. We need to see, and we need to take in that which is all around us that is exquisite, that is just there for our noticing and our appreciation. When I was thinking about my talk title today, I was thinking about the difficulty that might be presented by the challenge to gather good evidence. And a couple of things I noticed in particular in conversations with other people, they kind of popped out with this little shimmery thing that said, Anne, pay attention to this. Pay attention to this word, pay attention to this phrase. And one of the things that I wanted to include that was one of those shimmery things was generalizations. We don't generalize about ourselves, but we generalize about others. We say everybody and nobody, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody does this, nobody does that. Do we know everybody?
No.
Because if we don't know everybody, what are we doing? We're throwing this umbrella of blame or shame, because believe me, what follows everybody and nobody is hardly ever complimentary. It's a sweeping statement of either blame or shame or, nobody is doing anything about whatever it is. Right. Well, that's simply not true. And were we to investigate, were we to explore, were we to fact check, we would know that there are people doing something about everything. And that is not a generalization. And everybody is doing or not doing something. Same formula applies. So what are we really saying? Because what we don't consider when we use everybody and nobody is that we are that. Me? I'm not that. Uh-huh. We are that. We are everybody, and we are nobody. So any sweeping statements that we want to make about everybody and nobody, we need to understand that we are making the same statement about ourselves. Holding ourselves apart is separation. And what we believe in our philosophy is that there is one life, and that life is all life. And that life is my life and your life and the life of everything that we see around us, life that has not yet lived in a visible way, and life that has gone before. And it's all one. So there are no exceptions. There are no exclusions. And there is no separation. So how do we gather good evidence? Well, we go on a good evidence treasure hunt. Because it's there. It's there to be found. It's there to be found in obvious places. I loved your reading, by the way, because as so often happens, I will hear something new. It doesn't matter if I've heard it before or if I've read it before. I'm new now, and whatever I'm reading or hearing is new. And the point that was made in Carol's reading about that we miss what is obvious. We miss what is right in front of us. We're so busy looking out there, and I'm pointing on purpose because we're doing a lot of that, some of us, not in this room. I know that for sure. Nobody in this room is doing any pointing, but we know people who do and who are. Nonetheless, having our eyes on the horizon removes us from being present. Having our eyes on the horizon momentarily is a beautiful thing, right? Mm-hmm. If it wasn't a beautiful thing, I wouldn't have seen all that I saw this morning on the drive in. But that's not where I want to live. I don't want to live on the horizon. I want to live here, now, fresh and new, every moment in my views, in my presence, in my willingness to be open and available to all that life offers and all that I can offer as a result. We cannot do that when our eyes are always on the horizon. We can't. Part of our teaching, another part of our teaching is that the only way to really recognize, identify, internalize, and integrate, that was the word I was looking for, all that we are, is when we are looking to make a change in our life, looking to welcome a clarity about something, an understanding about something, we're feeling a call about something, but we don't quite know what it is, and we want to understand what it is, and we want to welcome that understanding into our life, is affirming that we already have it. Now, for those of you who are new to our teaching, that may sound ridiculous. And there's only one. There's only one life. And it is our life now. So what that translates into is that everything that we can cook up in our imagination that is something that we desire to shift, change, welcome, whatever the case may be, it's already done in the mind of spirit. And mind you, no, that's too many minds. Universal mind is different from human mind. Universal mind is different from human mind in that it is unlimited. It doesn't have any human ideas like, this is going to be hard. Oh no, this is going to take a long time. I mean, can you really imagine spirit, us tossing up, because that's what I envision we do. We toss out an idea about something that we are wanting to change or create or welcome or whatever the case may be, and spirit goes, well, you got me this time, because that's really? No, it's like this. Somebody snap for me. Thank you. It's like that. It's instantaneous. Because the yes has already been spoken.
Yes. That's right.
Do you know that, I mean, we would refer to it as vocabulary. It isn't held as vocabulary in universal mind, but that's all right. We need to name things. Universal vocabulary is one word. And that word is
yes.
Yes. That word is what?
Yes.
Yes. So, some of you, I think I hear at least someone thinking, well then why is all this stuff happening that I don't want to have happen? Why do you think? If stuff is happening that we don't want to have happen, who is observing it? Who has the point of view about it? We do. We do. And the other thing we always need to remember is that not everybody looks at life the way we say we believe we do.
There it is.
We say we believe we do. And I know we try, but try isn't even good in horseshoes. We say we believe we do. So the real question is, what is at the borderline between, would it help if that was closed, Scott? Is that right?
The vitamin D's good.
Because it would be fine if it was closed.
It moves.
Okay. What's at the borderline that's holding our belief, our real belief, our real doubts, our real fears in place so that the faith that we are working to build and to feel can just blow that all away? Because that's what faith can do. That's what faith can do. You know, our fears and our doubts and our anxieties and our, maybe this is too much to ask for, our feelings of unworthiness or whatever the case may be. What was the common word I used as I spoke that litany? Hour. I'm not talking about hour. I'm talking about this hour. My doubts, my fears, my anxieties, my questions of whether or not my faith can really deliver. That's what's at the borderline of the yes. That's what's at the borderline of the yes. And whether it's personal to us or it involves something in the world, that's what's at the borderline of the yes culturally. Because there's all these reasons why stuff can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Why stuff can't be easy. Why solutions don't seem to work. There's all these reasons why there's evidence for flaws. There's all these reasons for evidence why this has become the broken promised land.
Mm.
And who makes up those reasons? We do. We make up the reasons. And what we're looking at as we make up those reasons is human behavior that is each individual's use of free will. While we're still waiting, some of us, again, not in this room, but people we know, some of us are still waiting for that divinity in the sky to descend and cast asunder, you all remember asunder, and cast asunder everything that's wrong with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Not everybody thinks everything. So what do we do about them? Do we cast them asunder too? Because then it becomes about agreement. It becomes about everybody thinking, and you heard me use everybody thinking the way I think. Everybody believing the way I believe. Wouldn't that be delicious? I mean, each one of us can say to ourselves, that would be delicious if everybody believed the way I believe. I mean, you believe. But that's not how we were built. So how do we gather good evidence? How do we see the activity that is going on in the world that is a reflection of someone or many someone's use of free will that has absolutely nothing to do with anything that we can control? Ever tried to control somebody else's free will? How many in the room have children? Ever tried to control their free will? Good luck. Free will is free and supposed to be, with the idea that is seated in every one of us, that is within our own divine wisdom, that free will be informed by divine guidance. And some of us hear it, some of us feel it, some of us see it, and some of us don't. So, what we do is we do something about what we can do something about, which is our own individual choices.
Mhm.
Gathering good evidence is about looking for the good. I mentioned before that the senior minister that I want to say I grew up in Science of Mind with had this big display on the wall in the entryway to the center, and that was see the good, be the best, and treat life with love. That's our job. See the clouds. See the aspens. See beauty in each other's faces. Look, go on a treasure hunt for good to find, because I promise you, it is there. Gathering good evidence and building a case for good evidence, like maybe some of the people we know have up until now gathered bad evidence or negative evidence or fearful evidence. We get to choose. Nobody is making us gather the evidence that we've been gathering up until now. We've chosen. And you know what is the most delicious thing about being new every day? Is we get to choose again.
Mhm.
We get to be fresh. We get to have fresh eyes. We get to approach every moment as brand new, every breath as brand new. We get to be people that we want to be and have what we want to have if we say so. And then act so.
Mm.
It doesn't just come from words. It comes from visible change in how we are in the world. Our little arena, our little world, how we are, and the choices we make, and the impact that those choices cause. And the reflection, what does it reflect? When we lapse into everybody and nobody, what does it reflect? We're still on the wrong side of the border. We are still letting our deeply buried, maybe unconscious fears, doubts, worries govern our perceptions. And we don't have to. So this week, your homework assignment is go on a treasure hunt for good evidence. And so it is.
That's so